Good evening, race fans, and welcome to round number 6 of the Team Goon Squad Formula One Challenge. We are here today at Mount Panorama. My name is Mason Heimball with Team Goon Squad, bringing you the action here today. 1080p, 60 frames a second, and as our starting grid is here and ready for us, Finley Fitzsimmons starting off in first place, Daniel Beauchamp in second in the 451, Tommy Valenzuela in the 21 machine taking third place, Alex Penn starting in fourth, Gareth McAllister in fifth, Jack Mundy going to be starting out in sixth place here. Very short field that we have here for the race at Bathurst. Now, not exactly too surprising, at least for me, to see that we only have a handful of drivers for this race. Bathurst is, well, to say the least, not a track that we have seen Formula One cars on in a long time, to say the least. And recently, if I recall correctly, Bathurst just recently obtained its FIA Grade 1 license, or safety rating, or something or the other, to be able to possibly race again at Bathurst. But the lights are about to go off, and away we go here. Finley Fitzsimmons, Daniel Beauchamp off on the starting row here. Beauchamp with a very phenomenal start there. He's going to overtake his teammate, Finley Fitzsimmons, into turn 1. And down the long straight, heading into turn 2. Now, Bathurst here, I am fully expecting to see some carnage as, this track is, oh man, there goes Beauchamp into the wall. He finds himself missing a wheel here already. The first lap here at Bathurst out of 25, and Daniel Beauchamp already going to find himself taking that 451 machine into the pits. Now, Race Hub Motorsports, the team is not exactly going to be in a very difficult spot here, as Jack Mundy, Finley Fitzsimmons still hold on to the first and second podium spots here as we work our way down the grueling downhill section here of Bathurst. This is particularly the section of track that I expect to see a lot of, well, again, a lot of carnage. And hopefully we'll see a lot of these drivers really try and keep this thing together for themselves. I mean, this is just, again, a very difficult circuit. Not exactly a place where you can take risk other than here, really, and on the front straight. Once you're into the hill section, I'll call it, if you will, there's pretty much no way that you are going to be able to make a pass around anyone, at least safely. I mean, you're going so fast here through this course. I can't exactly seeing it possible going through. Let's actually ride on board here with one of our drivers here for a moment. We got time. And we're going to pull up our dashboard on the lower right-hand side of your screen so you can see the gear that we're in as well as how fast we're currently going. And as you can also see the gear selected on the driver's wheel itself. But as we make our way here through the top section of Bathurst, and approaching the sharp downhill. So here we go, we're going to see him drop down. Here he goes, nice and smooth. Through the dipper. Very nice exit there. Alex Penn doing very good work here, holding on to second place. That was very, very smooth. And see how fast these drivers are going through that section. You have to be just on top of your game, managing or being aware of how fast you're going as well as how much you're getting on that brake. You're making sure that you're not locking up those tires and sending yourself careening around. And that's going to be the end of your race if that happens. So definitely a very, very tricky circuit to master, and really a tough circuit to race on in general. So lap 3 of 25 as Finley Fitzsimmons just crossed the line. And so everything is looking pretty, well, now calm and steady as we've got our field pretty spread out now at this point. It's Finley Fitzsimmons, Alex Penn, Gareth McAllister, and Tommy Valenzuela all going to be out on track still at this moment. And it looks like Jack Mundy is coming into the pits here. Not exactly sure. Nope, he's going up on all fours there. And away he goes. He's going to come out on intermediates, or excuse me, on the hard whites. Okay, interesting. So Jack Mundy making a decision there to come into the pits and get on those hard whites. Definitely might be the appropriate choice here for a track like Bathurst. I mean, we're seeing Finley Fitzsimmons right now taking along the course on those intermediates, as well as Alex Penn here. So not exactly too surprising to see at least one driver opting to come down into the pits and make that tire change here just a little bit earlier on. Daniel Beauchamp, though, he's back out on track, 6th place all the way at the back of the field, and he hasn't even completed a full lap. Remember, as we were coming into turn 2, just that section there that we just saw a moment ago, he came into that just a little bit too hot, wasn't able to slow that car down enough, and he unfortunately had some damage to the left front tire, and ultimately had to bring it down into the pits and get himself repaired and back out here onto track here. And luckily about the iRacing service is that you don't have to worry about, actually damaging a $10 million plus vehicle and having to get a new one. Here, it's, you just press a button and happy times. Anyhow, right now, we're seeing some pretty good battles between Tommy Valenzuela, Gareth McAllister. These two drivers going to be duking it out for 3rd place at this point in time. We're looking at Gareth McAllister in the 888 machine at this point in time. Let's see if we can actually take a moment here and ride on board with Tommy Valenzuela with the 21 machine and get an idea of kind of from a top-down view, if you will. And one thing about Bathurst that personally I just love is once you get the flow of it down as a driver, once you really get those laps dialed in, that section of track that we just went through with Tommy Valenzuela here, it's phenomenal. It's an absolute blast. I mean, it just feels like you're just soaring through there. It feels incredible, but look at that. Oh, no, Tommy Valenzuela. Little bit of a moment as he tried to make the pass around Gareth McAllister. Gets himself on the grass. Luckily, didn't spin himself out or get himself into the wall or anything like that. Thankfully, one thing about Bathurst is on the straights, there's plenty of room to kind of work with. But that was a very, very interesting situation that Tommy put himself in there. And it looks like Gareth McAllister is already going to come down into the pits here. Lap 5 of 25, and you can see him right there. He's on those soft reds. And let's see here what he is going to come back out on. As there he goes, up and away he goes on the intermediates. And we saw as well, you could see it just for a second, the front wing there getting replaced as well here on this pit stop. So Gareth McAllister going to come back out onto the track here. And right now, Finley Fitzsimmons still doing an incredible job here leading this race. Alex Penn following just behind in 3rd. Just about 9 seconds separates these two drivers right now. And really, I mean, with a track as big as Bathurst, it's kind of tough to keep these battles close together and keep them consistent. I mean, you're asking a lot at that point is essentially what I'm gonna be saying there. But while we have a look at that here, let's take a moment to review our championship season standings at the moment. So right now, the driver that is leading the championship is the driver currently on your screen, Finley Fitzsimmons, with 179 points in total. Or excuse me, well, it'll be 179 points. But Daniel Beauchamp going to be in second place in the point standings at this point in time, and Alex Penn in third right now. So right now, I mean, as far as Drivers' Championship, it's between Finley Fitzsimmons and Daniel Beauchamp at this point in time. As far as Team Championship, I mean, this has been Race Hub since about 2 races ago. They have dominated this series here. And frankly, it's just been incredible seeing how well these drivers have performed here in this series. And they have an incredibly strong team here. Finley Fitzsimmons, Daniel Beauchamp, Jack Mundy, all with Race Hub Motorsports. And they've all done a phenomenal job here throughout this series. Tommy Valenzuela now going to be working his way around the circuit here. As we're on lap 7 of 25 right now. And right now, a lot of this field, well, our entire field right now, there's only 4 drivers out on track. Everyone's spread out right now. There's not any battles happening. Everyone is far and wide between each other at this point in time. So really, it all comes down to who's going to make a mistake, who is going to really bite the bullet here and possibly eat the wall. I'm not sure exactly if we're going to see anyone do that here. Oh man, it's just, that's such a spicy section of track this is. I mean, it's going into the downhill. I mean, you are just white knuckling that wheel and hoping that you don't spin yourself out going down that. Man, it's wild. It is absolutely wild. I can't describe it well enough in words to describe the feeling of that particular section of track. I mean, I even in the sim, it's just there's no real comparison other than just being in the real car, doing it in real life. I mean, it's just incredible. The adrenaline that you get from it, it's awesome. Anyway, really what I'm half expecting to see here, though, folks, is pretty much just keep it out, keep your car out there as long as possible. Don't bend the car and see where you come out at, because again, this is just, there's not really going to be any side-by-side battles happening here, and if there are, it's not going to last very long. I mean, this track is very tight. You don't really have a whole lot of room to work with, especially in this particular part of the track that we're looking at Tommy Valenzuela work his way through right now. And especially right here, you know, it's just, you're not going to be wanting to go side by side with someone or trying to make a pass. It's not going to end very well for anyone, I think. But either way, either how, I mean, with how difficult this track can be, I mean, you're going to see pretty extreme differences as far as lap times, as far as lines, braking zones. I mean, it's pretty unique to see all the drivers' different approach to this track. I mean, it's all going to look fairly similar to the viewer's point of view, but for the drivers, there's definitely little things that you have to kind of take into account for at a track like this, where it's different, just a little bit different. Oh, there, Tommy Valenzuela a little wide out of turn 2, scrapes the wall just a little bit. Nothing gonna come of that, though. He's gonna keep that nice and clean. Watching Alex Penn now, the second place driver in the 30 machine, working his way out of the bottom of the hill and out on to the back section of Bathurst here. And I'm going to actually work on getting us a little bit more information here. Perfect. So, apologies for that. Right now, I mean, we're seeing Alex Penn sitting in second place, obviously. We're still covering the 30 machine at this point in time. One thing I want to point out, you can see it on the left-hand side of your screen as well. Tommy Valenzuela is about 10 seconds away from Alex Penn. And between Alex Penn and Fitzsimmons is about 13.5 seconds, but that just increased as Alex Penn, going through turn 4, he smacks the wall. That is going to put Penn down into pit road. It is probably going to be the end of the race for the 30 machine here today. So with our field down to 3 drivers here already, oh man. So now this race has really dwindled down to a 3-man show, quite literally. I mean, it's Finley Fitzsimmons, Tommy Valenzuela, and Gareth McAllister all still out on track. Tommy Valenzuela now working his way into turn 1. Gareth McAllister is about, I would say, probably at this point now just working his way into turn 20, I would have to imagine. And here he goes out of turn 22 and into the final turn. So lap 11 of 25 here, folks. You know, it's still a really awesome thing to even kind of ponder the idea that a Formula One race could possibly happen again here at Bathurst. Is just, well, as much as I would like to believe it could happen, I don't think it ever will happen, unfortunately. But fortunately for us, we can get an idea of what it would probably be like in a real-life Formula One race. And so far, I think the verdict is not very good. Fun for the spectators, not so fun for the drivers. So watching here with Finley Fitzsimmons right now, still, getting very, very close there out of turn 18. And it looks like here Alex Penn, after getting a little bit of damage worked out on the 30 machine, he's back out. And it looks like he's back out here on those hard whites. I'm not sure if he might have actually switched compounds here. I believe, if I recall correctly, he was on intermediates and opting to come back out here on those hard whites. The long-lasting compound here seeming to be the favored one here at Bathurst. And given just the quickness and the tight cornering of turns 11 through 18, really, even though you're really not turning that wheel a whole lot, it's definitely a lot of movement on the wheels and on the car in general. So I don't know, I could see these hard whites being a little bit more preferred to stay gripped up a little bit longer. I'm not exactly too certain, but either way, either how, amongst the drivers, it's definitely looking like the the hard white here is going to be the preferred compound for this race. Oh, Finley Fitzsimmons, right as we tune into him, excuse me. He's working his way into turn 4 there. He scrapes up the wall. And now that 6 machine is looking all beat and bruised up here. So that's going to put Tommy Valenzuela in the lead here at this point in time. A lap 14 of 25. And Tommy Valenzuela here is going to be the only driver so far that has not come down into the pits for one reason or another. Still on those same sets of intermediate tires that he started with, and still looking pretty solid out here right now in that 21 machine. Oh, a little bit onto the grass there as he comes out of turn 23, the final turn, and across the checkered line. Now, I got to be wondering here to myself, how long is Tommy going to be able to stay out on these same set of tires before he comes down into the pits? I can't imagine that it would be much longer, probably another 2 or 3 laps, I would have to guess, is where that Tommy's going to come down into the pits here to get a new fresh set of tires. Let's take a moment here and let's ride on board with Garrick McAllister and let's take a lap around Bathurst and just listen in on the sounds of the 888 machine. Gareth McAllister doing a very good job here, trying to hold on to second place right now, and Finley Fitzsimmons managing to work his way back out onto track. And with quite a significant gap separating himself right now between Finley Fitzsimmons, so it's going to be a while before we see the 6 machine back up here. But still holding on to third right now, Alex Penn in fourth as well at this point in time. So, and again, Valenzuela, our current leader, actually, he did come into the pits while we weren't looking there. So Valenzuela here is going to be back out on track on a new set of tires. He's going to be on soft reds here. That's going to be an interesting choice. I don't know if that's going to turn out very well for Tommy Valenzuela here, but we're going to find out. Let's see exactly what the 21 machine has got in store. And look who's just behind him. It's Alex Penn, the lap driver, who is down a lap at this moment. The 30 machine going to be trying to get himself unlapped if he possibly can do so here. And frankly, man, you know, I don't want to curse Tommy here, so I'm not even going to say it, but definitely an interesting choice to be out on these soft reds, and we're going to see how this plays out for the 21 machine as we work our way out of turn 10, heading into Skyline, down into turn 11 here. Now we're locked in right now with Alex Penn, who's right now just trailing Tommy Valenzuela at this moment. Gonna see if he can stack up behind that 21 machine or possibly make a pass at some point here. Lap 18 of 25 here. This field has definitely seen its shuffling around, even despite only having a handful of drivers here. They've definitely moved themselves around quite a bit. So Finley Fitzsimmons still in third place, and he's working himself back up here to Gareth McAllister rather quickly. He was down just over a minute from Gareth McAllister a little bit ago, but now he's just under that minute mark now to about 55 seconds separating himself from Gareth McAllister. So I'm going to expect to see Finley here moving and grooving pretty quickly. Another interesting thing to note, Finley's out here on those soft reds as well, so definitely gonna expect to see some pretty good pace out of that 6 machine. He's already set the fastest lap for his for the race here today. Excuse me, with a 1:32.26 as his best time here around Bathurst and for the session. So that's, for Finley, that's pretty awesome. That's going to be a very, very good way to come back. Oh, man. Almost did it again there. Very, very close to the wall there as he came out of turn 18. So Tommy Valenzuela, Gareth McAllister, Finley Fitzsimmons still in our top three. Again, not a whole lot's really changed here. But Tommy Valenzuela at this moment coming across the line, bringing us lap 20 of 25. Now that's an interesting view from the 30 machine of Alex Penn as he works his way around Tommy Valenzuela here. He's finally going to be able to unlap himself, but now has quite the distance to close now between himself and Finley Fitzsimmons. But Finley here is quickly closing the distance between himself and Gareth McAllister. Lap 21 of 25 here at Bathurst for our feature race before we head into the sprint. About 46 seconds separating Gareth McAllister from Finley Fitzsimmons. Just over a minute from Tommy Valenzuela. And you can see just in front of Tommy Valenzuela, Alex Penn like a rocket. Trying to get himself back up here into a competing spot for the podium, if he can. Not a whole lot of time left, and once we cross the line, it'll only be a few laps left to go. Watching here to see if Finley Fitzsimmons, what he's going to do, if he's going to be able to make that pass. Well, not necessarily a pass, but be able to get himself up here to Gareth McAllister's rear end before too long. But right now, looking at how things are going, I don't know if that is exactly going to be the case. But here, Finley Fitzsimmons crossing the line. Tommy Valenzuela crossing the line, bringing us lap 23 of 25. It's just a few laps left to go. 3 by my count. Very, very spicy right there for Tommy Valenzuela. Coming out of turn 18, that same section where we've seen multiple drivers get very, very close to the wall there on exit. Alright, lap 24 of 25. So once Tommy Joe crosses the line next time around, the white flag will fly, and we will crown a winner of our feature race here. For today's race, the Kangaroo Fun Bucks GP Alex Penn. A little bit of a moment here. Tommy Joe having to slow down to almost a grinding halt here to avoid hitting the 30 machine. So drivers, even in the final lap, not going to be exempt from having last minute problems here as Tommy Joe working his way through the dipper section. Coming out of turn 18 here. He's only got to do this one more time once he crosses that line here. Looking at Gareth McAllister, or Finley Fitzsimmons rather, trying to catch up to Gareth McAllister. Here, Tommy Valenzuela crossing the line. It's going to bring the white flag out. Joe successfully out of turns 11 through 18. And this is going to be his moment, as now all he's got to do is just come across the checkered line and he will take home the win here for the Kangaroo Fun Bucks GP. Oh, Tommy, keep it together, buddy. Oh, okay, he was just celebrating. All right, it looked like that was going to be a little bit worse than it looked like there. But as Tommy crosses the line, Gareth McAllister is going to hopefully take it home second here for the feature. There, Gareth McAllister across the checkered line, and he's going to take home second. Finley Fitzsimmons just behind him. Coming into the final turn now, he's going to take home third here. And here are our results for our first heat race, or the feature rather. Tommy Valenzuela in first, Gareth McAllister in second, Finley Fitzsimmons in third, Alex Penn in fourth, Daniel Beauchamp in fifth, and Jack Mundy in sixth. We are going to take a short break here, and when we return, we will be back for the sprint race of the Kangaroo Fun Bucks GP for round number 6 of the Team Goon Squad Formula Challenge. Stay tuned, don't go anywhere, and we will be back for more iRacing right here on Team Goon Squad. Race fans, welcome back to the sprint race of round number 6 of the Team Goon Squad Formula One Challenge, as drivers are getting themselves down onto the starting grid. And it would appear here that, oh dear, that was a noise. Okay. All right, so it looks like we have Jack Mundy in first at this moment. And it looks like we are about to see the lights go out here, and we are going to go racing here for the sprint race. And away we go. Oh, Mundy with not the best start there. Daniel Beauchamp, his teammate. Oh, Finley Fitzsimmons with an even better start here. Race Hub Motorsports off to an incredible start here to the sprint race. Only 13 laps that we are going to be doing here. As per usual, our sprint race is half the distance of our feature. We work our way through turn 1. Very nice. Daniel Beauchamp able to get himself successfully through that section without damaging that 451 machine here. We're still watching along with Jack Mundy in third place. Jack here going to be the only driver here with Race Hub that is going to be on those soft red compound tires. His teammates Finley Fitzsimmons, Daniel Beauchamp, both going to be on those intermediates. Alex Penn just behind him as well, going to be on those intermediates. Tommy Valenzuela looks to be the same as well as Gareth McAllister. So Mundy going to be the standout driver here, the odd one out at this moment as far as compound choice, but we're going to see if that is going to have any effect here on the 320 of Jack Mundy and continue to check on with him. But look at this, Alex Penn continuing to try and get himself right to the rear end of Jack Mundy in that 320 machine. Oh, Mundy on the grass a little bit as he comes down into the final turn. Oh, he spins it sideways, but manages to recover. Wow, that was interesting to say the least. But here we're going to see if Alex Penn is going to make the move. He doesn't. Going into turn 1. Down the long straight, heading towards turn 2. It's Alex Penn, the 30 machine, right on the tail of Jack Mundy. Going to try and take the swing around, heading into turn 2. They bump wheels. Mundy into the wall. Oh, man. Oh, man. And see, folks, like I was mentioning earlier in the broadcast, that's exactly what you're going to see when drivers are that close together on a track like Bathurst. There's just not as much room as you really think. It's a very, very tight circuit. And once you start to get two cars side by side with each other, that space really, really depletes, and quickly at that. But Daniel Beauchamp going to be following behind right now. Finley Fitzsimmons in that 6 machine, trying to catch up to his teammate here. To be able, well, really, I mean, these two drivers work very well with each other. And right now, knowing that Finley Fitzsimmons retaining the championship lead at this point, I think Daniel is also wanting to allow his teammate to continue that success here, as crossing the line, Finley Fitzsimmons setting the best time of the session with a 132.436 last time around. And we're already 3 laps in to our race here of the sprint. Watching Daniel Beauchamp right now work his way through this circuit. And let's actually ride on board here. I suppose that's what I was looking for. Oh man, you can see the smoke from Finley Fitzsimmons' tires as he locks up those wheels just a little bit. There he goes again. Definitely a precarious situation to be put in. And it looks like Jack Mundy. Nope, we already covered that. The action down on track is looking fairly calm. Closest battle that we have, and really it's hardly even a battle. But even right as I say that, Beauchamp with DRS open, trying to close that gap with his teammate just even a little bit more here. So we head into out of turn 4 now. I just love the speed that these cars have on this circuit. It's just absolutely impressive. And there you can see on the bottom right hand side of your screen again once more how fast these drivers are moving and grooving through this section. Right now we're seeing speeds of almost 130 miles an hour there just a moment ago through that very twisty section here at Bathurst. You can see those sparks coming off the bottom end of Finley Fitzsimmons' car as Daniel Beauchamp with DRS open makes the pass around his teammate for the lead. That's going to put Finley down into second place here, but he's got a little bit of a moment as he's in the grass coming out of turn 21. Able to get himself back out onto track, but that's going to come at a loss. And even more so now as Alex Penn makes the pass around Finley Fitzsimmons for second place. I think Alex Penn now at this point is, well, he's probably got only one thing and one thing only on his mind, and that is keep myself in this spot. As challenging as that might be. Oh man, a little bit of wheel scrape there. You could hear it and see it as the sparks came off from the wall. Watching here, Finley Fitzsimmons just trying to catch up here too. Oh man, Alex here trying to break up the air behind him. Finley Fitzsimmons DRS is open. Alex Penn gonna move on by here as we head into turn 20. Finley Fitzsimmons nice and smooth there. Alex Penn not so much. He gets a little loose out of 22. Too much gas on exit. And that's going to bring those rear wheels spinning around. And Alex Penn dropping back down to third place here, but ultimately not too much of a loss for him, as behind him, Tommy Valenzuela has got quite a bit of time to close before he's back on the tail of the 30 of Alex Penn. So speaking of which, here we're looking at Tommy Valenzuela now. Who I believe right now is tracking behind, yes, that's Jack Mundy just out in front of him. Going to be back out on track after that little bit of an incident that we saw a moment ago. Daniel Beauchamp. Oh dear. Not exactly certain what's going on there for Daniel Beauchamp. Okay. All right. That was interesting. So Alex Penn here going to be in second place after this field. You know, again, this track is just absolutely grueling. It doesn't matter what car you're in. I mean, you could be in a Formula One car, you could be in a GT car, you could be in any car you could think of. You could be in your minivan for all intents and purposes. This track is not for the faint of heart, by any means or by any reason. This is just a track that takes time to perfect, and even then, once you even have it perfected, it just throws something at you that you didn't expect. And maybe you've turned hundreds of laps here, maybe you've turned one lap here. It's definitely not something that you just come into and you are just instantly good at. It is by far one of the hardest tracks, aside from, say, the Nürburgring, that you could possibly race on, that I'm currently aware of. And I'm sure there's a list of others that you all could come up with yourselves, but personally, I think Bathurst, Nürburgring, those are up there in at least the top. We'll say 20. We'll say 20. Because I'm sure, aside from the tracks that are available on the iRacing service, there are a lot of other tracks out there in the world that don't get the same recognition that I'm sure that they probably deserve, that also have just insane sort of elevation changes, and it's, yeah, love it. Love to see it. Anyhow, this is definitely ranked in at least my top 10 of hardest tracks here on the iRacing service. But nonetheless, we are lap 8 of 13 here. Excuse me. As Finley Fitzsimmons is just about halfway to cross the line once again. And Finley gonna be, well, excuse me. Frankly, Finley here is going to be hoping to come across the line here for that win, as Tommy Valenzuela last time was able to take home the win here for the feature. So for Finley, I mean, yeah, I think he definitely wants to get himself up here on the podium and get a win here. Looks like Jack Mundy. Oh man. Oh, unfortunately we didn't catch the action live, but Jack Mundy suffering heavy damages to the 320 machine. And look at this, Finley Fitzsimmons right on the tail. It looks like of Gareth McAllister. Gareth going to be trying to get out of the way of the leader right now. Let him on by. And Finley Fitzsimmons has DRS open? That can't be right. Unless he had it open to make the pass? I don't know. Anyhow. Finley Fitzsimmons here going to be in the lead still at this moment, and as he crosses the line, that brings us lap 10 of 13, so only a few laps left to go here before we end things off here at Bathurst. And what a race it's been. Honestly, it's, again, despite the numbers, it's been an incredible race for these drivers, and frankly, I would love to see drivers come back to this track with this car and take another stab at it. But I think it'll take a little bit more time, and hopefully a little bit more drivers in the field to make it just that more interesting. And I think it could be a very fun race here at Bathurst with the Formula One car, with the Mercedes W12. It's honestly, it's fun to watch. It's fun. It looks like it's fun to drive even. Like I was saying before earlier in the broadcast, you know, once you get the line down here at Bathurst, it's a very, very fun track to drive. It's just tricky, very tricky. It takes time to learn. It takes time to get it right, and it takes a lot of patience. I know personally from my own experience with I believe the Skip Barber, the Skip Barber Formula car, as well as some of the GT cars. This track has definitely seen myself in the wall as Finley Fitzsimmons gets a little loose out of turn 23. Gets it back together as quickly as possible. And across the checkered line, lap 11 of 13 now. Only 2 laps left to go. Or 3 laps, rather. You see Gareth McAllister just behind him. The driver lapped at the moment. Going to be trying to catch himself back up and see if he can unlap himself here, but the odds of that at this moment are not looking in favor of the 888 machine of Gareth McAllister at this moment. So Finley Fitzsimmons right now has come across the line here, lap 12 of 13. And we are just about pretty close here to wrapping things up. And Daniel Beauchamp still in third at this moment. Alex Penn sitting in second place. Oh, Daniel getting a little loose there. Keeps it stable, though. Daniel, a very strong driver here in the series. Having a little bit of woes here at Bathurst. Ultimately still going to be able to take home a podium in the sprint after having a setback in the first opening lap of the feature. As Finley Fitzsimmons now working his way into turn 20. The final few turns here, and once he crosses the line again, that's going to bring out the white flag, and it'll be the final lap here at Bathurst. And there we see it on our screens. The white flag is out. Daniel Beauchamp with just about 17 seconds separating himself and Alex Penn. You know, I think if Daniel here had a little bit more time, he'd be able, definitely would be able to catch up to Alex Penn here and possibly put himself into second place, but just not going to quite be enough time here to be able to make that happen. Finley Fitzsimmons working his way into turn 11 now, down through the dipper. And there he sees the 21 machine of Tommy Valenzuela. Working his way through the final few turns now. Finley Fitzsimmons, once he crosses the line, that'll bring him home the win for the 6 machine for the sprint race. Here for the Kangaroo Funbucks GP. And across the line, Finley Fitzsimmons taking home the win. Alex Penn going to be coming across the line here to take home second once he works his way through the final turn. Across the line, 30 machine taking home second place. Daniel Beauchamp going to come across the line now for third. That is going to conclude the coverage of our race of the Kangaroo Funbucks GP. Here are our post results. For our sprint race, Finley Fitzsimmons taking home the win. Alex Penn in second. Daniel Beauchamp in third. Tommy Valenzuela in fourth. Gareth McAllister in fifth. Jack Mundy rounding out the field in sixth place. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you all enjoyed this coverage of round number 6 of the Team Goon Squad Formula One Challenge. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.